I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. Oops, the podcast. Giulio Gallerati. Ryan is very jacked. Lynch.
Yo.
He's been working hard in the gym.
How do you don't know for certain?
I don't.
I could have been slacking off the last week.
You could have been. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good.
I've been on my game.
Ryan's been on his game. I'm at Helium in Portland tomorrow night. I think 8 p.m. show. Don't quote me, but tickets are in my bio, so check that out. I am also going to be in New York City, 18th of July, and then Pasadena, California, the 3rd of August, St. Pete, 20th and 21st of September. More dates coming, and that is that. Here we are on the pod. We're doing it big, and dude, so we just sent out some of our preliminary sort of wedding invitations. We have, well, it's not really invitations. It's save the dates. Mm-hmm. So there are 2 different days. So the Friday will be a much smaller thing. So those people kind of got those. And then the rest of the people will be getting the invite for the rest of the weekend at some point. The second you send out that save the date, the registry is in that. We have been getting wedding gifts already.
For how long now? Since it was sent?
Since we sent it out. So in that time, it's been about a week. We have received 3 gifts already from people who just got it out of the way. And it's very impressive, and it's a hack. So, guys, if you want to have your pick of the litter of the registry, the move is to look at it the second you get the invitation, buy it, get it out of the way. Never think about it again.
Just bang it out?
Bang it out.
Now, the tough situation is somebody that is single and doesn't have intentions on getting married, and the amount of money that they're being put out without it being reciprocated to them for an equivalent event.
This is a very cynical outlook, Lynch.
Why?
Because this is not a tit for tat thing, bro. These are our friends. We love them. And it's nice to give people stuff, bro.
100%. But weddings are expensive. They're getting more and more expensive. And knock on wood, hopefully, I'm not that person in that situation where I am perpetually single forever, going to all of these weddings, being in everyone's weddings because I'm the best, and putting out all this money. And I don't know. There's so much money involved with hosting and going to a wedding that I think it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But if this makes you feel better, for the perpetually single guy for eternity, that guy doesn't have a family to pay for. So therefore, in the world of things evening out, that guy is better suited to take on the burden of all the friendship he has to pay for. Which he should. You know what? That guy actually needs to give the best gift because he's going to die alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does, he better hope that he has very, very good friends who he is taking care of, because when you're on your fucking deathbed, the only people who show up typically are your family.
Mm-hmm.
There's some sort of deep, natural obligation that you don't feel towards others, which is why I think having a family is a great hedge against loneliness in one's old age.
It's a great play.
It's a great play. If we're talking, since we're being sort of savagely pragmatic here,
mm-hmm.
and we need to remember, Lynch, even if I give you a gift, then you give me a gift, and it all evens out. Here's why it doesn't even out: because we feel nice that we did something nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we end a little up, as opposed to being even Steven, where I spend 100, you spend 100, we're back to 0.
That's fair. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm playing singles advocate.
Singles advocate.
I will say, even if you give the most amount of money, or even if you were just the best friend in the whole wide world, and you end up alone and you're on your deathbed, if your deathbed happens to be on Christmas Day, people probably aren't going to show up.
If your deathbed is Christmas Day, no one's going to show up, even your family?
If you don't have family.
If you don't have family.
All you have is friends.
No shot. I
No,
don't
they're
think,
at home opening gifts with their families.
it's unclear how many people will show up even if it's not on a holiday. That's even more sad.
Yeah, I guess so.
At
Yeah.
least on Christmas, you have a little bit of an excuse. Although typically
Hey, sorry, I can't make your goodbye. We're opening gifts.
there's some sort of, but also on Christmas,
That's an ominous point you make.
well, dude, I think that actually, what about this? You might be more likely to go on Christmas because there's some sort of part of Christmas. There is this sort of quote charitable element. And I know that going to see someone who you're friends with dying is not the equivalent of charity in any way, but there is some sort of giving back element, charitable element where, you're supposed to do nice things for other people. So that might be the perfect activity. After you open your little fire truck, you go to Uncle Jim's hospice. He's not even a related uncle. You've called him that because he's so sad and alone that you needed to give him some sort of family title.
Yeah.
And you go and you sit by his side and pretend to care as he breathes his last breath. You've done your good deed for the day for yourself, and then you go home and play with your toys and eat too much.
Wow.
That,
You're
my
a
friends,
Christmas king if you do that.
That is sad.
That is friendship.
But you are a Christmas king indeed.
That's why you make the play of hedging your bets and having a family.
You have a family.
That's why you have a family, so you don't end up like Uncle who?
Uncle Jim.
Uncle Jim. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But dude, look, this is why life is lived better with others. Community, hanging around, spending time with people. Like that is the type of thing that gets us going as people, bro. You know what I mean? These countries where people are unhappy, they work too much, they don't have friends, and people are lonely and they feel terrible. That's not a good thing. Okay. We need to remember, what gets us going, what pushes our buttons, all of our buttons. And community is one of those things. Caring about other people is one of those things. Having a family is a really good exercise. It just is. And if you guys don't want to, that's fine. But it's an important thing to try to do. You'll figure it out. Oh, the kid, the money, the worry, the whatever. It's good. Keeps the blood pumping. And it's the natural progression of things. So I think it's worth it to give it a shot. Even if you're skeptical. I am very skeptical about it. But I still don't see any other road forward for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I can barely get my shit done now, living for myself. So what makes me think that I'll be able to do it when I'm worrying about other people and transporting them and figuring out where they're going to go when I go here and they go there and who's going to watch them? I'll figure it out.
Yeah. You want to talk about family for a second? I got an email this morning, right before coming here, from 23andMe through that portal. I got a message from a woman who said that she is my aunt. And she had no idea that she had a nephew.
What?
She doesn't have a nephew.
Where
I
does she
am her
live?
first nephew. So my
Don't
mom.
you have siblings? Doesn't that mean she has a niece too?
Yes, but we got connected through 23andMe on her side, and her mind was blown because she didn't know that she had nieces and nephews until we got connected on there.
Is this from the adopted side?
From the adopted side.
Got it.
So she was mind blown.
How exciting.
My mother was adopted. I got 23andMe because I wanted to know about my DNA. And there's a family tree in there, and it notifies people based off of whether or not you're related, and you can talk to them if you want to. And that's why I got the email saying, do you want to talk to her? Here's her little message. And I looked her up, and it is weird to see someone that you've never seen before.
Who looks like you and
that
shit?
looks like 30% like your mom. And I stalked her Facebook. I haven't messaged her back yet because I don't know how I'm going to play this out.
She's heavy. You're making sure that she's on her own 2 feet and stuff before you start entertaining that we're family.
Yeah, not necessarily. It's just that she and I'll say this really fun fact about my aunt.
Your new aunt.
My new aunt. She lives 20 minutes away from where my mom lives. And that's crazy to me.
That's a coincidence.
That's a coincidence.
Jesus.
She's 3 years older than my mother, and she has 4 kids. So I have 4 cousins.
In Florida or New Jersey?
In New Jersey.
Okay.
I have 4 cousins, and we have mutual friends on Facebook.
The cousins or you and her?
The cousins from high school and from college.
Damn.
And I'm just thinking to myself, how many times have I walked by my aunt at the grocery store
Yeah.
with my mother without her noticing?
Most likely you have walked by her at some
Probably
point.
at least a couple times, more often than you swallow spiders in a year. Fun.
How many times is that again?
I think 7 or 8, even though it's not true, but that's what they say.
This is getting very confusing very quickly.
My aunt was a Playboy bunny in
What?
1984.
Pull her up. This is fucking amazing. That's crazy. Okay, so have you told your mom?
Not yet, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Well, you're gonna have a few days before this comes out to figure it out.
I know, because we're definitely including this, and I'm gonna prep her, regardless of whether she wants to meet her or not. Where's this photo? Yeah.
Well, let me see. What's her name?
Yeah, right here. She's a bunny.
Wow.
And she posted in some posts about how she got invited to like the anniversary, whatever, 1984 class bunny.
Wow, bro.
So my aunt was a bunny.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm looking her up right now. I can't find her.
I
Do you know which edition or whatever?
I couldn't find her in the archives. I looked up the Playboy archives right before I left. I couldn't find her, but
maybe it's a good thing you didn't find it.
I trust her, regardless of the fact. Here's the thing. My mom, she feels like it's a sign of betrayal for her to seek out who her blood relatives are because she loves her parents so much, and that's fair, and I'm never going to push her on wanting to figure out that information. I was curious. I was able to do it on my own. My fear is if I talk to my aunt, she seems really eager to get to know me and to find out how we're connected. My fear is that she is doing exactly what I'm doing to her right now, which is stalking my socials, finding my mom, because you can find anybody, Joel Goldberg style, finding my mom and messaging her.
Who's Joe Goldberg?
He's the guy from You,
Okay.
the serial killer
Yes.
guy. I'm worried that she's going to reach out to my mom and make my mom's brain explode unconsensually.
Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yes, I'm up to date.
You are 11. You are making contact with the other side, with the upside down, and you're about to connect with and break a giant portal open, and suddenly, whatever those things are called, are going to start running through. What are those things called again?
I forget. I don't think they have names.
Demogorgon.
Demogorgs.
The Demogorgon.
I think the
And
Demogorgon.
the Demodogs.
The Demodogs.
They are going to break through, and the shadow monster will be unleashed on
In
this
New
warm
Jersey.
world that we currently live in. What a heavy thing that's happening. I wonder with 23andMe, did they know? Because when it first started, it's like, oh, figure out what you are. Did they realize that this was going to happen? I've heard so many stories like this now.
Probably not, but yeah, I mean, this definitely happens. My girlfriend's coworker talked about how one of her friends found out that her dad was cheating because somebody reached out that was a long lost sister.
Wow.
Of like some other relative. Like, yeah, I don't know if they think about that when they release that to the world, but they have this massive database and there's no stopping it. It's definitely snowballing, and more unwanted strains of DNA are being connected.
Yeah.
And like, that's a real thing. That lady could be messaging my mom on Facebook right now, and my mom will be so overwhelmed she wouldn't even know what to do with herself.
So, and that will only be possible because you signed up. You're the only
Yes.
one who signed up.
Yep.
So this sort of plan that you had, the best laid plans of mice and men, I believe the saying is often go astray or something.
Mm.
This is a scenario like that. You were like, don't worry, I won't tell you what I find. Not really taking into account that you wouldn't be able to control how the other people would behave.
Yeah.
So this is the lone sibling, or are there more of them?
I don't know.
So
This is the only one that has signed up
got it.
to 23andMe.
Got it. So everyone will have had to sign up in order for this to be possible.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So do you know, so you haven't spoken to her at all? When she, in her message, what'd she say to you? Can I see it?
Yeah. Are you telling me that I gotta go sit my mom down in the middle of the woods and let her say I get to tend the rabbits and then I shoot her in the back of the head?
I mean,
Is that what I have to do for her own good?
Look, you've certainly gotten yourself into a predicament here.
Let's see. her message, it was very sweet, but it was eager. Her message was sweet and eager. Good morning, Ryan! Exclamation point. My name is... I checked my 23andMe this morning and you popped up as my nephew! Exclamation point. I would love to talk to you and clear up how we're related! Exclamation point. I have a nephew and I'm so excited! Exclamation point. I'm looking forward to hearing from you! Exclamation point. You have a great day! Exclamation point. Eager.
Wow. So, okay. So there's a couple of things she doesn't know yet. She doesn't know who she's related to. She doesn't know if it's your mom or your dad. She doesn't know enough yet to reach out to your mom.
Yes, but she could. So to be 100% correct in who she reaches out to, she doesn't know for certain, but she could be reaching out to my dad and she could be reaching out to my mom.
Yeah. And are your parents both active on Facebook?
My mom is on Instagram and on Facebook 24/7. This is bad.
This is not great.
I'm nervous and I feel bad. I need to get ahead of it.
You need to get ahead of this. Yeah. This is a tough one, dude.
And maybe she will be open to it, but that needs to be on her terms.
So this is the one thing I'll say, bro. This could all end up being a really nice thing. And at the end of the day, your mom might end up thanking you for sort of unintentionally broadening her horizons. And she makes this nice relationship or something. And it in no way tarnishes the legacy that she has with her family. Because look, think about it this way. I understand where she's coming from with the respect for these wonderful parents of hers that have taken her in and were just saintly and so good to her, and they're her family. Great. Now, this is a new world we're living in. She didn't suddenly go out and have this desire to meet her real family. She didn't give a fuck because they sort of abandoned her or whatever, however it is she looks at it. But now that this new thing sort of exists that kind of opts you in without you wanting to be opted in, it's a different story. She didn't go seeking this out. So there is a world where this is not at odds with the wonderful relationship she's had with her family. In any way.
Yeah, you're right.
Hopefully.
I just wish, the same way that you want your kids to believe in Santa as long as possible, I want to just shield and protect my mom from finding out something that she doesn't necessarily want to know.
But 100%. But now this is the other thing. This is your life too.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't theoretically tell you not to use this service because, you know what I mean? Like
And she hasn't.
Right, and she hasn't. So the fact she's just like, I don't want to know. And you said, okay, deal. You were nice enough. Everybody's acted really nicely. But, Matthew Modine's experiment at that facility in Pennsylvania has gone awry. And you, his star pupil, 11, as the blood trickled down from your nose onto your upper lip, you have done something that has had some severe consequences. Will you be able to close that portal? We will see in the final season.
Yeah, we'll see.
Which I'm excited for, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I am excited about that. Victoria has said that a really fucked up prank would be to invite my mom and my aunt to a comedy show and then have a spotlight go on them and be like, say hi to each other.
Oh my God, dude, Jesus. That's not even a prank because a prank is fake.
No, yeah, you're right. That's just like a public humiliating.
I like that you just said that with a Russian accent. A public humiliating.
No, dude, you put a gun to my head and give me 7 tries. I can't say humiliate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Humiliate.
Humiliate.
You're going to humiliate my mother.
You'll humiliate Russia.
Yeah. So interesting. I'll let you know what I decide to do. But I appreciate what you said. And my mom has the emotional intelligence to understand this is the world we live in, just like you mentioned. But
shout out to my girl Cindy.
Yeah, got to wipe the blood off my nostril and tackle this one head on.
Yeah.
But dude, a lot of exclamation points. Very eager to connect.
I mean,
sounds great.
Yeah, it's good, bro. I don't, people use exclamation points, especially boomers. They love an exclamation point.
I like how she said, you have a great day. Not have a great day, you.
Let me see.
So,
You have a great day, Lynch, to me is pretty standard. I wouldn't read too much into that.
It's just, she's excited. So that's just the tone. It's the tone that I'm reading.
All right, you want to hear a good one?
Yeah.
Somebody that I know who, she lives in Portland, actually. I will likely see her when I'm over there. She did 23andMe. She was adopted. And she found out that her dad is Richard Hatch, the guy who won Survivor the first time.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You do?
I do. I know the face.
The girl or the Richard?
Richard,
Okay,
not the
so
girl.
Richard.
That'd be crazy.
Richard, though, is, I believe, a gay man. He was a sperm donor, which is crazy that 23andMe kind of came out after all that stuff was happening. So it kind of no longer protected your anonymity in this kind of scenario. So he has sort of been outed as this profound sperm donor, which, of course, the guy who wins Survivor also has strong swimmers, you know? And she found out that this guy's her fucking dad. She's a celebrity dad. And I guess that he has a ton of other kids too from his sperm donation. And I think they like met up with each other or something.
I think they did. Let's see how many kids he had.
There was supposedly some documentary coming out about this at some point, but we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, dude, pretty nuts, huh?
How many kids did Richard Hatch?
Interesting. Well, anyway, he has
I
quite a
can't look
few.
that up.
He has quite a few. That's for sure, Lynch.
Interesting stuff.
Right?
Interesting stuff.
Well, dude, if you guys like pranks, there's this new prank show on Netflix that is really unique and fun. It's called The Magic Prank Show. And the people doing the pranks are magicians, which adds this whole layer of sophistication and like, coolness to these pranks that doesn't happen with normal pranksters because they're not as able to execute this crazy shit. So magicians are masters at sort of illusion to begin with. So it really makes sense that this show would exist. I'm surprised it didn't exist earlier. I have a couple friends in comedy who do magic, and they have said that they sort of were involved in similar pitches that didn't end up working out. But now this show has finally been greenlit or whatever. And dude, some of the shit they come up with is so fucking funny.
Can you paint a picture?
Yeah, I'll give you a
tell us
couple.
one of them.
So one of them, this dude is like kind of afraid of AI. So his brother like sets him up. They somehow get him to go to this like science center or whatever. And basically he is going to interact with a robot. So they have this whole robot body, and then they have an exact replica of the main magician dude's head. They create an exact replica of it. So the guy's sitting there and you watch them assemble the robot. So they have the robot legs, the robot body, the robot hands, they put them on, and then they put the robot head on him. And it looks exactly like our guy, right? Mm-hmm. So then they create a distraction. They're like, hey, put this on. It measures your neuro. And we know that this guy isn't going to want to do it because he's paranoid. And he turns around. And as he turns around, they turn around the robot thing. So now the actual guy is there wearing the same exact thing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it just gets like super weird from there. And he like talks to the guy and freaks him out. And then they turn him off, but he's still on. You know, kind of like a Megan thing. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. So anyway, so that's a really good one. Then, dude, this one's amazing. Okay, they use a hypnotist for this one. I don't even know how some of this shit's illegal. So they get this guy to participate in a $500 sleep study. The way they get him to do it is they distract him. He's parked outside of somewhere. They paint the sidewalk red, the side of it, and they put a fire hydrant there, and then they give him a ticket for $500. And they've sort of floated the sleep study to him somehow before he walks in, where you get paid $500. So he gets back, sees the ticket for $500, goes back and signs up for the sleep study.
Thinking that he's signing like a ticket?
No, thinking that he's signing up for the sleep study because he's going to make $500, which will help him pay for the ticket.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Maybe there was some legal thing there that got him. But anyway, so they get him to go to this sleep study. So during this whole time, they're priming him for deep, deep, deep hypnosis. So this hypnotist is like tricking him. He's like saying things into a microphone. And then they do a sleep evaluation of him. And as they're doing it, he just hypnotizes him. Mm-hmm. So then he's like, sleep. And the guy's just falling asleep. So he like makes him turn off and on like 1,000,000 times. Okay.
That sounds like you need to fill out a lot of forms to do that.
Dude, so this is the other thing that's funny about it. So a lot of the time these pranks are like revenge pranks. So like the people are getting back their siblings for shit. So I don't want to ruin the whole fucking show, but like I don't think any of this will ruin it. But these pranks are amazing. So dude, They put the guy down in his sleep chamber. They then hypnotize him deeply so that he's out. They then transport his body 200 miles away into the middle of the desert. Okay. And they put him in this like shack. Then they make like a fake news thing, a news video. So when he wakes up from the sleep, he gets out and the TV turns on and it's like basically making it seem like it's a post-apocalyptic world that they're now living in. Mm-hmm. And he walks out of the sleep study thing into the middle of the desert and thinks he's in the future.
Because he thinks that like the whole world around him like blew up
because
he somehow survived because he was in the chamber.
When he went into the chamber, he was in the middle of LA.
Yes.
And now he's come out and he's in the middle of the desert.
But so he thinks he's like in LA, but fully fucked up.
In 200 years in the future. And then they make like a drone come down from the sky in a small box. And here's again where the magic comes into play. A man steps out of the small box. So the box is this big. A full-sized man steps out of it wearing a metallic suit. He looks like an alien. The dude gets on his knees and is like, So dude, this whole thing happens, right? And then they hypnotize him again, put him back in the sleep pod, and then bring him back to the original place. And when he wakes up, he thinks he was dreaming. Dude, it's crazy.
Oh my God. And then I'll watch that one. What was his face when they let him know that it was a prank? Or did they not tell him?
They just end the show. So you don't even know. Because they tell him it's a prank while he's, quote, in his dream. But then when he wakes up, he doesn't realize it was a prank. Dude, it's crazy.
That's insane. That's so much commitment.
Dude, and then, okay, one more. I'm not going to say, like,
no, this is great.
Okay, what about this one? Remember the prank where this went viral, and I didn't realize that this stemmed from this magician, but they did this thing where they made the kids think they were invisible, and then they were scared.
Yes, I saw that one with a little girl recently.
Yeah.
She's like, Mom,
yeah,
Mom. And the mom's like, where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this guy invented that prank, apparently, and then everybody started replicating it. But there was one in particular that really made him sad, where like this girl pranked her little brother, and he's sitting there sobbing. So he decides he wants to get revenge on the girl, and he hits up this kid, and is like, do you want to get revenge on your sister? I think something like that. So what they end up doing is she's like, dude, she's at dinner at a restaurant, and they make it seem like she survived the rapture. So like the lights go out, and then when they turn back on, everybody's gone, but their clothes are still there.
But their clothes are still there? How old is she?
Probably 20 or something. Dude, like so good. Like these pranks are incredible. And to be honest, like they're almost so good that it seems as if, and I don't know this for a fact, but having done prank shows in the past, I got the feeling that at some point it started to get so crazy and so scary that they had to tell the people they were fucking with them and then just like film the rest of the prank still so they could get it. I got that vibe a little bit. 'Cause sometimes the reveals were a little underwhelming, and it seemed like because they had to tell the people or they were going to have a heart attack.
Yeah. The alien one, I mean, so
Incredible.
he's on his knees fully surrendering, just like, I don't know what's going on.
I come in peace,
I'm sorry.
like saying shit like that.
Wow. And this guy was super against AI.
No, that's a different guy. The AI guy is the robot guy.
Yes.
This other guy,
Yes.
they're getting him back because he used to fuck with his brother. Like, dude, there's a million good ones. There's one where this girl used to prank her brother by putting a mannequin's head in his bed, and it would like freak him out. So to get revenge on her, they go to cryotherapy, and the cryotherapy thing malfunctions, and they accidentally freeze his head solid, and it falls off his body onto the floor.
Oh my God.
And this is just like, oh my God.
These are fucked. This isn't like Impractical Jokers silly goose.
This is like,
This is legit.
Bro, this
like
is like
Ari Aster's cut.
yeah, dude, dude, this is like foreign pranks. Like, you ever see like those viral videos of those like scary pranks in Brazil where like the elevator starts flickering and a demon pops out of a panel?
Yes. I've seen
Yeah,
that
like
one,
you can't do that shit here.
No.
So anyway, I really enjoyed it. Hillary hates pranks, which is it's a really funny thing about her. So I'll like try to make her watch it, dude, and she won't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
She won't do it.
She won't.
And she'll get mad. She's like, stop trying to show me this. I do not want to watch this.
Damn. There's this, I've seen compilations of like these pranks from the early 2000s. I'm sure you've seen these where people are at a park, they go into a porta potty, and then they go to the bathroom, and while they're in the restroom, there's people that are like carrying these like boxes that like are makeshift walls and sets, and then they place this like office in front of the bathroom.
Oh, they, like,
and so
surround
people,
it?
yeah, they surround it. So people walk out of the porta potty, and then there's just like 12 guys in business suits sitting around a chair, and like they're pretending to be in the middle of a meeting, and they all turn at the guy and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And
That's
like,
great.
he's like, "Sorry." He goes back into the bathroom.
That's great.
Or there'll be somebody running down the street just like on a jog.
Yeah.
And then like a big crowd of people like come around and they bring like a finish line, and there's like little
nice.
kids behind them, and then it's fun. It's fun. It's playful.
I love the idea of like a mass prank that sort of encompasses like your complete environment with a lot of people. Like I always thought it would be fucked up to make people like somebody watches Smile on a flight, and then when they're done watching, they look up and everybody's looking over their seats being like,
That's fucked.
smiling at
That's
them.
fucked.
That would fuck you up.
They did a great job promoting that movie.
Yeah.
So they bought tickets behind home plate for the World Series.
Yeah.
Imagine being a little kid.
That movie
sitting
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was a good one. But imagine if you don't know the movie Smile, people's faces, they get stuck smiling.
Like right before they're about to like be brutally murdered by
Yeah.
this like demon.
So to promote the movie, they would hire these actors to sit behind home plate, any primetime sporting event where they would be on TV pretty much the whole time. So like behind home plate, that's baseball, obviously. There was a woman that was sitting behind home plate during the 2019 or the 2021 World Series, and she was smiling the entire time, never broke character. And they would pan over to her because they were curious and not aware that it was a marketing tactic. Great move.
Great move, dude.
Great move.
Yeah, man, that was a scary one. This is so on our prank show, there was a couple that we weren't allowed to air because of the certain things. So this is a pretty funny one. There was a sort of recovering alcoholics happy hour where they were only serving non-alcoholic liquor. So, and wine. So the people that we were pranking were the bartenders.
Uh-huh.
So basically what ends up happening is as the party starts going on, everybody starts to seem wasted. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to take my keys. I got to go. Like, can I have my keys? Like, and I like get, for some reason we had to give our keys or something. And then I leave. And then at the end of the prank, it turns out that the bartender's been serving us real alcohol the whole time. And like people left and drove home and all this shit. And they like didn't let us air it. They're like, this is too fucked up. Like
That is fucked up.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up.
there's a lot of good ones. So another interesting thing about
So bad.
prank shows. So a lot of the time there's like a thing where you can't just prank random people for whatever reason, like legally speaking, depending on the environment. Like sometimes you can, but usually like person has to set you up. A friend has to set you up in some way. So you either say like, yeah, whatever it is. Like you say, oh, I got like a dinner for two for free. Like, do you want to come with me? Type of thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the time where people tend to get the most sensitive, and this is like, it makes me even feel icky saying this, but like on blind date pranks, people get really sensitive because a lot of the time they sit down on this date and, you know, it's a TV show, it's an ensemble, everybody's actors. Chances are they're like pretty good looking, at least, you know, as a baseline. So sometimes you're getting people who are getting set up on dates with people that they would never maybe be on a date with, realistically, not to be a dick, but like people who are punching above their weight.
Uh-huh.
They sit down at this date. They're like, oh my God, I'm on this date with this super hot chick, super hot guy, whatever. It was usually guys being pranked. I don't want you to think that was like me calling myself hot. That's not what I was doing.
Mm-mm.
But like usually it's like a guy being pranked. He's on a date with this girl. And then when the reveal happens, oh, haha, it's a prank. You win $300. The person is A, really embarrassed. B, they actually feel sad that they like weren't actually on a date. And then they're really fucking mad at their friend. Like one time a dude was like, I thought we were friends, bro. Fuck you. And like stormed out.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's bad vibes.
A little bit of bad vibes.
Going through some shit. That's not what you need.
A little bit of bad vibes.
Some bad vibes.
Little bit of bad vibes. But dude, there were so many good ones. Like, what about this one? I hired a girl to work in my store. And as I'm in the store, my girlfriend, my fiance, and my wife all come in succession and ask where I am. And you put this person in a scenario where they have to cover for me.
Uh-huh.
And dude, it's crazy. And like my wife comes in and is pregnant and my fiance is there. And like, you know, and it all kind of builds until, you know, and you want people. So the idea of this show was that you wanted people to figure out that they were being pranked. And every time they don't, the prank gets more severe and they get less money.
Okay.
It was really a great show, man. It did one season. It was like pretty heady pranks. You know what I mean? Not like the car exploding, more like awkward interpersonal shit happening. So a lot of fun.
What was the name of that show?
It was called Totally Clueless. I'm
Totally
not sure if you can
Clueless.
even see it. I have cuts of all the episodes, which this is advice for anybody if you're considering being an actor or an actress. Whenever your thing comes out, get a copy of it immediately because you might not be able to find it 5 years down the road. Most of the time, you won't be able to find it. The amount of things, especially if it's like a commercial, forget about it. Like it'll go away and it's gone, unless it was like a big campaign. But for TV shows too, and anything, or if you're in somebody's web series, like they now control your destiny. If they want to take that off for some reason, you don't have it. So the move is you have to rip it immediately once it comes out, so that you can have it. I have a crazy catalog of my entire career.
Yeah, you do. That's very impressive. You have the archive. That's great. Hey, can I take a few more Magic Minds with me when I leave today?
Oh, dude, absolutely. I've been taking these for 7 straight days now, and I must say I feel a noticeable difference in just my general disposition. Like my resting disposition is one that is far less anxious.
The disposition that you're in right now is probably what you would maybe say the best position. Took a long way to get there. But yeah, I'm on day 7 as well.
Really?
And I think I'm running out. So if I could take a couple with me, that'd
Dude,
be great. Because I love the
absolutely.
way they make me feel. I like to mix, they're like a mental performance shot.
Yeah,
And I just
exactly.
like adding them to my routine. I mix them with some water. I like the way it dilutes with some ice and some cold water and just makes me feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it says it on the bottle, but it's true. It's sharper mind, better energy, lower stress. I mean, dude, it's really, and it tastes good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It tastes good. It's
a
giving
fun-
it's giving healthy. So
it's giving healthy.
yeah, we got a promo code in our description, 48% off. So just check it out. Pretty good stuff.
So dude, I did this like gig and it was such a gig from hell. And I did it over a month and a half ago now. I still haven't gotten paid for it. And I'm getting to the point where I'm very, very frustrated. This gig sucked in every possible way. Okay, so before I talk about it, I want you guys to know, if people are doing man on the street, okay, and I know a lot of my comedian friends do man on the street, whatever. This is not at odds with that. Don't talk to that person. Don't talk to that person. Chances are they're going to put you in a situation where they're going to make you look stupid.
What person?
The person asking for man on the street interviews.
Oh, so if you were out and about and someone says, hey,
Can you
ask
talk to us for a second?
Gotcha.
Don't do it. If you're going to go viral, you're probably going to go viral for the wrong reasons. And I actually have an example beyond this thing that I'm about to tell you.
Just watch your head.
Yeah. Hannah Berner famously does a bunch of these. I answered a question fucking stupidly and now it's everywhere. And look, every other question I got right, or I said something good, or it went viral some stuff went viral for good reasons. But now once a week, somebody will DM me being like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, thanks. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so do it at your own risk. So anyway, the idea of this thing was they hired me to do man on the street interviews. It was okay money. I was having a little bit of a slow couple weeks. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just do this, make a couple bucks, like no harm, no foul. Right. I show up. Not only they don't want me to like be in the video, which I think is weird. It ended up being good, but I'm like, what? I'm just like a sound guy. Like this is really like weird, sort of like ego crushing exercise that I'm doing right now. Like I am clearly above this. Like, why am I doing this? Whatever. So I'm like, fine. I'm interviewing people about their experience at this sushi restaurant and they're kind of saying what they think and it's no big deal. But this is where it starts to get weird. We then go into like Madison Square Park or whatever, and we start interviewing people and asking them questions about like sushi, right? And, it's a question that is gettable, but some of the people weren't getting them and they were looking stupid. Now, that's their own fault. They didn't need to talk to us, and by doing it, they were putting themselves in a position to look stupid. But the problem is that the people administering this were doing it extremely unethically. Now, I haven't seen this video come out yet, and hopefully they realize that they can't put this out, but I don't think they did. They were pretty dense. But this is what was happening. They were saying to people, hey, can you help us out? They were sending like a pretty girl to go, can you help me out with my school project? Which is a lie. This person's not a student. They work for this place. And they thought it was no big deal. But like, I don't think they realized what they were doing, like how fucked up it was. So then once they fooled these people into talking to us, the people would answer the question correctly And then the guy would go, no, that's wrong. They go, then what is it? And he would go, it's this. And they go, it's this? He go, yeah, say it's that. And then they would say that. They would get it right. And then the guy would tell them, no, that's wrong. Say this instead so you look like a moron. And I'm manipulating this. And I'm like, this is fucked up, dude. And at that point, I just like basically completely shut down. And I said to the camera guy, I was like, make sure I'm not in any of the shots. I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be a part of this. Not to be Mr. Dramatic.
Yeah. Was the cameraman, like, did he give you a look like, yeah, this is shitty? Because it was you, a guy from that place, and the camera guy.
And like 2 women who worked at the place too. And
how many people were like...
The camera guy
this
maybe
is awesome.
sort of knew, but I don't think he cared that much, which like I don't fault him for. The guy who was the mastermind behind the operation is a fucking douche.
What a scum. Julio called me after this happened. He was flabbergasted. He was like, is this insane or what? It is insane, dude.
Brutal. So anyway, do those interviews at your own risk. I don't recommend it, especially because there's people out here like that who are literally trying to make you look stupid. When you upload things, there's literally a box you need to check that says whether or not like the content is altered in some way or if people were tricked. Like you're not allowed to do that.
Interesting.
It's a hard thing to police and prove, but like very clearly unethical, dude.
Yeah. I thought that the altered only had to do with AI. I didn't know it had to do with consent.
It's possible.
Yeah. That's such a gray line. Like, you don't have my permission to post that. No, it's a public park. No, this is a public place. I don't know. There's no black and white with that, right? It's pretty gray.
I'm not totally sure.
We also don't really shoot content where we're like at risk of like people being like, I don't give you consent to post something like that.
Right. You theoretically need to sign something. I don't know if these people were doing that.
Like, what about crowd work? Like, is that fair game? Is that dependent on the club? When you buy your ticket, you sign off like, hey,
yes.
we have the rights to use your face and
there
voice.
will be, if you're using the faces of people, you just put a big sign and that covers you. That's what we did for special. Like you will be on camera. If that's a problem, you shouldn't come to the show.
Gotcha.
Type of thing. But yeah, dude, like pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly behavior.
It is gnarly.
Well, dude, before we do some turkeys here, I have a gift for you.
Ooh.
I promised that we would have fidget spinners.
Thank you.
Dude, Hill
This
Dog.
is great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, bro. This is a good 2018 toy.
I should have referred you to that guy, Matt, that is living in his car filled with boxes of fidget spinners. You could have given him, I don't know, maybe lunch.
Yeah.
In exchange for the thousands that he has in his trunk.
Thousands of fidget spinners. Well, dude, Hillary has no compassion if I ever have some sort of ailment or injury. Like I played tennis and I like banged up one of my legs a little bit and she's just like, are you okay? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, like it's an inconvenience.
Yeah. I'm like, when something's wrong with you, and there are often things that are wrong with you, I just am like, are you okay? What can I do? I'm not like, what the fuck? You need to figure this out. You know what I mean? It's so annoying. But then like in the midst of that, I was also doing this and she's like, are you kidding? What is that? I'm like, all right, you need to apologize to me. And she did, and it was fine.
Did she not like the fidget spinner?
No.
What was her reaction when you like showed her or when she saw it for the first time? What were you doing?
We were in bed.
So you were in bed. You guys, did you say goodnight and then you just like went for it?
We
Was
were
she on her phone?
No, we were like in the midst of arguing about my leg hurting, which is insane. And then there was a moment of silence and I was just doing this. She goes, are you serious?
Oh, these are great. These are mesmerizing. I like to balance it on my thumb and it'll spin around like a solar system.
It's crazy how long it spins for. The other thing I like doing is once you have both fingers around it, like feeling the gravity when you like shake it a little bit. Yeah, this is fun too. This is like spinning a basketball on your finger.
Yeah. I could do this all day.
You're getting very sleepy.
Dude, I went to the Yankees game on Sunday and the subway was absolutely packed.
With like Yankee people?
The 4 train. Just the more north you got, the more packed it got. To the point where if you've been to a sporting event, you're taking a subway to and from, like it's so stuffed. Everyone's arms are up. Like your nose is in some stranger's armpit. Like it's just how it is. You can taste everyone's Bud Light burps. It's disgusting. It's rancid, but it's what you do for the love of the game. Anyway, we're on the subway. It's absolutely packed. We're by the door, me and my buddy. And this woman, people, you stuff yourself in or you wait till the next train. And the train was absolutely stuffed. The last person that could possibly squeeze in came in. He had a backpack. Everyone was pissed about it, but he made his way in. He made space happen. This woman, she's standing outside before the doors closed. She's like, "Hey guys, is there any room for me in here?
Oh God.
Can we make room for one more?" No response. Everyone's like, she's not a person. No one's acknowledging her existence. "Guys, come on, maybe room for one more person?" And the door closed on her. I looked to my buddy. I'm like, she's not getting very far in life with that attitude. And the guy standing next to me turned and his armpit was like in my face. And he was like, "Yeah, man." And that was it. And that woman's probably still on the subway trying to go north.
Dude, the problem with those situations, I call that like crisis communication, right? Suddenly people start broadly stating things to a group of people when they typically wouldn't because they're desperate to try to utilize some sort of public facility. In this case, the train. But like, "Can we move in a little bit?" And then like the guy closest is like, I don't have anywhere else to go. It will require everybody making adjustments. But it sounds like in your situation, maybe there just truly was no room.
There was no room.
Yeah.
And she was like, she wasn't angry. She didn't have any like confidence in asking, which in that case, no one's ever going to move. Maybe if you yelled at us a little bit, we'd be scared and maybe we would shuffle back a little bit. But this lady just no urgency, just like, "Hey guys, just asking for a friend. Can I get on this train?"
Yeah. Sorry, lady.
So
She would have had to start pushing.
it was brutal. And one last thing, what you mentioned, like speaking up or like saying something. I'll get off the subway and there'll be just tons of people like standing by the door before the door opens, before I can exit. And there's no path for me to get off. And they try to funnel in before I can before I can even get off. And I will just loudly say, "Excuse me." And I look at everybody and then they all feel bad. Then they get out of the way for half a second. But then they do the exact same thing to the person after them who probably doesn't say "excuse me." So mind your manners.
Lynch in the field, causing trouble.
I'm going to get shot in the face.
I hope not. Right. Dude, I love starting my day off by drinking a little AG1.
Little AG1.
It's nice to put, for the first thing you put into your body to be something that is good for you. I mean, just sort of gets my mind cooking. I feel good. And that momentum, it sort of helps me ride through the day. Like if I start my day with a healthy choice, it makes it much easier for me to continue the day with a healthy choice. And dude, AG1 rules, research-backed foundational nutrition supplement through many, many different iterations and versions. It has prevailed as a habit that many people really enjoy, as well as us. I roll out of bed, deep little yawn. First thing I do, I go into the kitchen. I take some AG1. I scoop it into my glass. Nice little stir. Mixes up really easily. Drink it down and just feel good.
Yeah, AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, AG1 is constantly putting their formula to the test, trusted by experts and medical professionals, and is backed by multiple research studies. AG1's in-house team of doctors, scientists, researchers work with third-party experts. We love hearing third-party.
Third party, that's
Right.
neutral.
On studies that validate the benefits of AG1, giving you one less thing to research.
I'm always looking to just feel better throughout the day. I'm always looking for a little more energy.
Same,
And
dude.
so that's why AG1 is part of my routine. 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. And with AG1, you might need less coffee to power you through the day. For 91% of the participants in a research study who drank AG1, that was the case. That's good news.
Love a healthy, clean habit. Makes you feel good and energetic. If I had to recommend one product to support whole body health, it's AG1. And that's why I'm excited to have them as our new partner. Starting your journey with AG1 is a win. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/oops. That's drinkag1.com/oops. Check it out. Okay, well, do we have turkeys? We'll do turkeys. We'll do an email,
Sure.
and we'll call it here.
Do you have one?
Yeah. So my turkey of the week is the French Open.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody watched the French Open finals or if anybody knows or cares about tennis, but I still think that this matters. So now tennis has technology for electronic line calling. So if the So sometimes there'll just be no there'll be no umpires at all. And automatically the lines will be called in and out. And it's exactly right for the most part. And that's it.
On the tour?
Yes. And there will be a chair umpire still to make any human decision-making that is necessary, but it doesn't have to do with like the line calls. It'll be with like the shot clock or whatever other rules there are. Injury timeouts, blah, blah, blah. So the French Open is on clay. So because clay, there's a ball mark. So when the ball hits the ground, you can see where it bounced. So while it's not 100% accurate, because sometimes when they sweep the lines, like there'll be a little bit of like an extra groove on the side where it's so tightly down to the ground that you can't tell if the ball mark went beyond that little tiny gap onto the line or not, right? So it's pretty accurate and it's old fashioned and there's something nice about it. You know, the lines, people call it out. The chair umpire runs down from the chair. He runs over to the line. He looks at it. This means in, this means out. He'll tell you why. He'll tell the player. Sometimes they fight about it, whatever. It's a fun tradition. But in this situation, it's 2-1 in the fifth set. Alcaraz is serving. It's double break point. All right, he's up a break, so he's up 2-1. But he's down double break point, meaning that if Zverev, the guy receiving, were to win the point, it is now even. And you have an advantage when you're serving. So being down a break puts you at a disadvantage. So if he breaks back, now they're back on serve, so now it's even again.
Yep.
Okay? Alcaraz double faults. So the point has been lost. Umpire overrules it. He runs down from the chair, checks the mark, confirms that it's out. But we on TV can see that confirms that it was in. We on TV can see that it was in fact out. So the game is over. The game is over. It should be 2-2. But the umpire has overruled it, which means Alcaraz now gets a first serve, and Alcaraz ends up winning the game and the set easily. Runs away with the set. Wins it like 6-2 or something, or 6-1. But you can't help but think that if that point had gone the way that it literally went, meaning Alcaraz lost the point and Zverev broke back, would that set have been more competitive? Without a doubt, the answer is yes. So now I've just watched an altered contest where the stakes are so high and you can't help but just feel bad for this fucking guy. You know?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, are you guys serious? That why have you not put the electronic line calling in?
Did the person challenge the call? Is that why
You can't challenge.
Then
No.
why did the guy in the chair feel the need to go down and check with his hands?
So if it's close, he'll do that because the player will be like, no, look, the mark. So then he'll come back to confirm. But the chair umpire overruled it. So like you don't need to challenge because there's a mark. So if it's close, you tell him to come down. If it's not close, you see that it's not close and you swipe over it with your foot so that next time it won't get confused for that mark. But he ran down from the chair and confirmed his overrule. And it was within 2 millimeters. There are people who are saying that shot spot isn't 100% accurate if it's within 2.5 millimeters, but I don't know how true that is. And the fact that the shot spot called it, I still take that over the human eye. So it just sucks. And it ruined I was so excited to watch this match. It was a great match. I spent hours watching it. And then there's a huge letdown in the fifth set because the French Open isn't putting that technology into use until next year.
Really? And how many years behind are they?
Most other places have it.
Yeah.
Clay has just been a little slow to adapt for obvious reasons because you can literally see the mark. But still, dude, the stakes are way too high. And this totally affected the outcome. And it affects the outcome for both players because Alcaraz may have still won. And that's unfair to him that we're sitting here talking about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my turkey of the week.
It's beat how I don't know if it's because of social media and how we have so much more access to like every single match and every single game, but these mistakes keep slipping through the cracks like what seems to be more and more often than any time in the past. And we have all these review systems in place and still there's so much human error that completely sways how a game or match can go.
Right. Well, now in like baseball and basketball, you can review stuff, which has been helpful for sure.
Yeah.
But still, like there'll be times where you can't review or you're out of reviews or whatever, you know what I mean? But I still think that that's a step in the right direction. Like making it more perfect, even if it's not 100% perfect, because you also don't want to slow the game down. That's unfair to the viewer and to the sport and to the well-being of the sport. If you're constantly reviewing every single thing. Because basketball, man, there's going to be contact. Okay. You can't call every fucking foul.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a proponent of just letting them play a little bit more.
Me too. I like the violence. All right. My turkey of the week is Yankees fans. Yankees fans at the stadium are some of the worst people that I've ever surrounded myself around in my entire life. And I'll give you an example. The whole world got to see it on Sunday night on ESPN's broadcast. The Yankees have not won a World Series in 15 years, and there are fans at the stadium that are heckling Red Sox fans, Dodgers fans, the opposing team's fans that are at the game with the whole trope of 27 rings, 27 rings. You maybe have seen the Yankees win 1 or 2 championships. You have no reason to mention that. That means nothing. It's been so long since we've won. Boston's won so much since.
How long has it been?
Since the Yankees won?
Yeah.
2009. So
wow.
we're in the 15th year.
Damn. And how many times has Boston won since then?
I think they've won they've won in 2013, 2018. They've won at least twice. They've won twice since 2009.
Got it.
Regardless of the fact. Here's the move. So little backstory. Juan Soto, great player on the Yankees, generational talent, might be one of the best players of all time. When he retires, he got hurt. He wasn't going to play, but he wasn't on the injured list. He could pinch hit. The guy replacing him on that Sunday night game had a .083 batting average. Really bad batting average. There was a moment in the game, it was the 5th inning. The Yankees were down by 2 runs. There were 2 runners on base, and this player, Trent Grisham, the guy replacing Soto, came to the plate. All the fans started chanting, "We want Soto. We want Soto." It's worse than booing your own player. It's basically saying, we don't care about your existence. We don't care what happens to you. We don't want to watch you play. You suck. Fuck you. That was 48,000 people at the stadium. That was the energy. 2-1 count. This guy hits a bomb to right field. The biggest fuck you I've ever seen to a player's own fan base. Trent, you had the right to flip off the entire stadium, but you didn't do that. And I was so embarrassed by the drunk and spitty laughter amongst the crowd as they were chanting, "We want Soto," and booing Trent Grisham for stepping up to the plate. I just hate that.
Okay, let's see. What about this? I mean, that is not that crazy of a scenario to me, especially because they're not saying "fuck you, Trent." They're saying they want Soto. So maybe that is more of a critique on the organization than on the guy. Now, naturally, he's getting hit in the crossfire, but you want your team to be up to par. And if you're putting a guy who doesn't even bat 100 up to the plate, it's a little bit of a fuck you to the fan base.
I get both sides, but they had no one else to play.
Right. But that is a problem.
Yeah.
They should have more fucking guys to play. And I will also, Yankee fans, you guys need to relax a little bit. Lynch, potentially you included. 15 years is not that long of a time to wait for a championship. It's not that many seasons, bro. You think the Yankees should be winning every 10 years as a minimum? I mean, I know you want that.
Well, I mean, I want them to win every year.
Yeah.
I'm devastated when they lose in the playoffs. I get depressed for a couple of days after.
Really? That's very cute. That's very sweet.
But the fans that keep saying 27 rings, that's what I was upset about.
Right.
I'm not like, oh, we haven't won. I'm not like, we haven't won in 15 years. It's like, we haven't won and we don't deserve to boast like that.
Right.
We don't have the right to boast like that.
Right. The legacy of the franchise sort of doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah. We're so far removed
What's
from that
happening
era
now?
of baseball that it's just not relevant.
Right.
So
what is their longest drought that they've ever had as an organization?
Without winning a World Series?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It must have been before they won in 96. That would be my guess.
My dad said that he grew up watching the worst Yankees teams.
Yeah, I don't think they won in the 80s at all.
14 seasons.
Wow. So this is now the longest.
If they don't win this year, it'll be the longest.
So does that mean they must have won in 1983?
81.
Okay.
82 to 95, they didn't win.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, that's it. But you guys, the people in the Bronx are my turkeys.
Yeah.
They like to riot after winning a meaningless game. They just like violence. They like saying egregious things just to get attention. And I don't think they're pleasant people. And I'd rather just watch the game at home or not be bothered while watching the game.
Yeah, agreed. It's hot. It's a bitch to get there. If you Uber, it's like takes forever to leave in an Uber. Forget about it. It's hard to find the place. You end up on the train with all the drunken morons. think the moral of the story here, Yankees fans and all fans, get it together, guys.
Yeah.
There's more to life than a bunch of people that you don't know you personally. I know you want them to win, but you don't need to be a dick. And you don't need to go home and beat the shit out of your wife after your team loses.
Mm-hmm.
There is some sort of like comparison there about domestic violence when teams lose.
Really?
There's some thing about that. I think it's more of a thing in like soccer, but dude, guys, get it together. Okay.
Yeah. Hedge your bets. Have a family.
Go have fun, but you don't need to fight about what's happening. You're sitting in the last row. Your life is terrible. Don't bring this into it. Go fix your life.
There's children around. So
Be an adult. Get it together.
yeah.
All right. That's it.
Anything else?
That's it. I think that's all. We'll do the email when we have Santa on the pod,
Cool.
which may have been the episode before this, depending on how this all ends up panning out. But oops, the podcast, guys. We got some merch coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Should be pretty fun, including Ryan Lynch's pizza pie.
Pizza pie, no cheese.
Shout out to Brooke who made that design. You're a legend.
Thanks,
Super
Brooke.
funny.
Very talented.
Check us out, guys. oopsthepodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions. Share our clips. Get people in the mix. I know sometimes in the summer people have other stuff going on, but we appreciate your loyalty and your consistency for this pod that has now gone on for many years and many different iterations. And I think, Lynch, this is right around the 1-year anniversary. It's not quite, but when we heard the news that we would be going independent, just me and you, it was right around this time last year.
Yep.
So it's been 1 year, going strong. It's been a pleasure doing it with you. And we'll keep doing it. So I'm at Not Julio G on TikTok and Snapchat.
Ron is really polite. And appreciate your supporting our sponsors, checking out their info in the descriptions. We love who we work with, and we do it so we can keep talking to you guys. So appreciate you guys. Send us emails. Talk to you soon.